Welcome back to Coffee with Cannell and our series on how YouTube works. This series is going to help you understand YouTube so that you can get more views, grow your subscribers, and make money on YouTube. And this is a very practical series. You know, YouTube recently released an article and a detailed breakdown of how their products work, including YouTube search, including YouTube recommended videos. But here's the deal. This information is straight from the source, straight from YouTube themselves. And we're going to be breaking it down and looking at it in detail so you can get an edge on YouTube by really understanding what it takes to rank your videos in search, how YouTube search works, and how you can get massive views in the process. You got to just press record. And here's the cool thing. 65% of people use YouTube to help them solve a problem. So tell me in the comments, what problem do you solve with your YouTube channel? And what problem does your videos solve? You know, there's two main categories on YouTube. You can either be in entertainment or education. And at Think Media and Think Marketing, we really help people that are educators, that want to help people solve problems. So tell me in the comments, what problem do you solve? But this shows us that YouTube, again, is the second largest search engine in the world. And 65% of people use YouTube to help them solve a problem. So if you're fired up for today's Coffee with Cannell, hit the like button, and we're going to be talking about how YouTube search works and 4 tips for hacking the YouTube algorithm. We're going to bust some myths that a lot of YouTube experts spread, even though YouTube themselves contradict those myths. We're going to talk about tips for how you can hack the YouTube algorithm and get more views and subscribers. And we're also going to talk about what channel authority is and why it matters. And today's episode is brought to you by thinkmasterclass.com. This is our 1-hour class that we've created here at Think Media to actually go in depth. It's an hour long to show you how to leverage YouTube search and suggested videos, hack the algorithm, and really build a high impact and high profit channel. And it's been updated for 2021. And so if you have not registered for that yet, thinkmasterclass.com, link in the description below. And do not miss out on that. Here are some screenshots, and all of the information in this video is taken directly from a YouTube article. And this is a screenshot that says, with over 500 hours of content uploaded to YouTube every minute. Take a breath. 500 hours uploaded every minute, right? Finding what you need would be nearly impossible without some help sorting through all of the videos. So this is YouTube. In this video, YouTube explains to us how their search function works. And this becomes really important because if you're going to stand out in the sea of noise on YouTube, you have to understand these principles, because don't worry about the volume of content or the volume of competition. Find a way to be a meaningful specific in a world of wandering generalities. You got to find a way to really carve out your niche and make sure you're making specific videos that are answering specific questions and leveraging these tips and tools. And here's a quick story that illustrates this. This is Nolan Molt from the Think Media team. He's one of the content creators on our Think Media channel, a cinematographer, has worked on TV shows in LA, and really a camera expert. And he's really been getting into grilling with his wife, Madeline, in LA. And they've been grilling up all kinds of different stuff, different meats, different vegetables. And so he was going to YouTube to look for information for something to grill. And he looked for how to barbecue kebabs. Okay. And so when we talk about YouTube search and what is a ranked video, well, ranked video is a video that shows up in the top results of YouTube search. And the top result for that search term was this video called Kebabs on the Grill, Simple and Easy. And I don't know if you can see it, but you can see which channel it's from. It is by Sean Cannell, right? This video is from my personal channel, and this video came out 12 years ago. So all of a sudden, Nolan is trying to figure out how to barbecue kebabs on the grill. And he at first doesn't even recognize this is me, because it looks like I just got hit by a truck in the opening of that video, as you can see on my face there. But I was on vacation with my wife, Sonia. I got up from a nap and I was like, let's make a video because we're going to cook these kebabs. But I did some strategic things to this video. And years later, over 448,000 views later, Nolan stumbles over the video completely on his own and was like, oh my gosh, like the stuff that we talk about, whether that's in our advanced trainings like Video Reiki Academy or whatever. He's like, dude, Sean's like been doing this, man. Like, what the heck? Now he's teaching me how to grill kebabs, which in these days I was testing these strategies and these things. But here's the deal. YouTube's always constantly updating. And now YouTube is telling us exactly how they rank videos. But here's the power of it. And this is what you want to master, because what would it be worth to you to get a video that has 448,000 views? What would it be worth to you to get a video that's being viewed 8 years after you create it? 8 years after you create it. This is why YouTube's the best social network on the planet, period, because it's leverage. You create a piece of content once, if you do it right, if you position yourself in the right niche with the right strategy, and that video can get views, subscribers, grow your business, generate income, help you create freedom for your family for weeks, months, and even years to come. Over 8 years is even possible. And this is just one super random example that just happened recently. And here's what's crazy is by mastering YouTube search, it's changed my life. I've grown multiple YouTube channels to over 2 million subscribers combined. Another one's about to go over 100,000 subscribers for another silver play button. And it's not just changing my life. It's actually changed multiple of our students' lives who've even started from scratch, literally from zero, and grown past 100,000 subscribers. Many people have created part-time and full-time incomes, all from the power of what we're learning in this video. So here's the question. Where do YouTube views come from? Right? Where do YouTube views come from? There's a lot of different places, but there's a few main sources. And when we look at Think Media in 2019, YouTube search was responsible for 43% of the traffic. That means the views on the channel. Think Media got around 20 million views in 2019, and that means around 10 million from search. Now, we have to acknowledge different channels and different niches and different industries have different places where their traffic comes from. Think Media is a utility channel. It is an education channel. It helps people solve a problem. And again, if you had to choose between entertainment and education, I would choose education 9 times out of 10. Entertainment, you're a musician, you're a comedian, even you're kind of a vlogger, although if you do it right, you can apply these strategies. You're trying to entertain people. It's kind of a different conversation, and there's maybe even other people to watch in terms of trying to figure out how to grow those types of channels. I also think that it's very difficult. It's kind of like trying to get an acting job in Hollywood. Like there's a lot of competition. But when you go into education, search-based content, utility-based channels, I actually believe it's not just easier, it's practical to build a 5-6-figure income, to build up your channel, because it is actually solving a specific problem. And YouTube is very much an entertainment platform, but it's also an education platform. And with the pandemic and the lockdown and everything, massive people are thinking about YouTube in terms of education. And so this kind of proves and shows how much, 10 million views in 2019 on Think Media came from creating search-based content. Not only that, over 1 million views, 1.1 million views came from Google search, just creating YouTube videos. 1.1 million views have been earned from Think Media from Google search, because never forget, Google owns YouTube. And so here are the 4 factors that are outlined from YouTube themselves, straight from the source, that influence YouTube search. Here's how they determine it. Number 1 is relevance. Number 2 is engagement. Number 3 is quality. And number 4 is search and watch history. We're going to explain all 4. I'll repeat all 4, and I'll give you tips on each one. Number 1 is relevance. Number 2 is engagement. Number 3 is quality. Number 4 is search and watch history. And we're going to be looking through the exact quotes from YouTube themselves. So hit like if you're getting value so far. Number 1, relevance. And I quote, "To estimate relevance, we look into many factors, such as how well the title, tags, description, and video content match your YouTube search query." End quote. So the first factor to determine if your videos are going to rank, and here's what's interesting. This article is actually speaking more to the viewer. They're telling the viewer how YouTube works, but you and I, the creator, can learn so much from this article. And I've linked it up in the description below, by the way. So let's break this down. To estimate relevance. So YouTube wants your video to be relevant to a person that's looking for something. The way they determine that is the title. So you got to master titles. Interestingly enough, is the tags, said straight from the horse's mouth. Now, there's some people who say tags don't matter. And YouTube has also said they don't matter nearly as much as they did. Tags are not going to change your life or change your video's life. But some people say they don't matter at all. If YouTube tells me they matter, then I'm going to pay attention, and they obviously matter. Description, the words you put in your YouTube description, the content you put in the description of your YouTube video, it matters. But most of all, the video content itself. See, what we call title and tags and description, all that stuff, we call it metadata. It's the metadata around your video. And even though YouTube now can like literally watch your video and it like sees there's a man's face, a woman's face, there's like nature, there's a bird. It sees a lot of things just in creating the video content itself. The words and the metadata that you put around your video matters so that YouTube has a starting point of whether or not your video should show up in search or what your video is about. Now, I would say that based on my experience, again, it is the content yourself that matters most. But here's something that maybe some wouldn't notice. The key here is then match your search query. So if you want to rank your videos, it's not just like getting your title, your tags right, like the actual topic itself or how relevant it is to the person that's searching for it really matters. Therefore, what do I mean? How you architect your content needs to be in congruence and in alignment with what someone's actually looking for. Therefore, if someone comes to YouTube with a problem, if you basically serve up content that is cooked to perfection for what it is they're looking for or as close as possible, then that viewer satisfaction will be there and you could get your video to show up in the search query and keep showing up there. All right, here's the takeaways. Number one, master metadata. This takes time to learn. Make a commitment to learning how to master metadata on YouTube. Number two, content is king. That's forever true on social media, the internet. Content is king. Like the content in your video really matters. Cream always rises to the top no matter how many cups of coffee you pour. You have to have great content when it comes to your videos. But here's another one that I think people miss. To the degree that you understand the viewer, you will win or lose on YouTube. Here's how another way I'd put it. The creators who understand the viewer the best win. Let me throw a word at you. Psychology, mindset. If you understand how the viewer, the searcher is thinking, and you architect content for them using the words they use, you're going to win or lose based on the degrees with which you understand the viewer. I would argue if you go, oh, that's easy. I totally understand the viewer. I don't think I do. I think at arguably an advanced level, have built a big business, 12 full-time people on Think Media, multiple YouTube channels. We're obsessed with trying to understand the viewer still, and it's a lifelong process and journey. In business, a similar perspective is it's the business that understands the customer best wins. So you apply that to YouTube, you got to understand and basically kind of get inside of the mind of who the viewer is. And I've noticed a lot of people kind of create selfish content. They're sort of just like in their own bubble. They're not thinking about other people or understanding other people, kind of just saying what they want to say, creating what they want to create, sort of just speaking what they want to speak, assuming a lot of things. And so to the degree with which you understand the viewer, you'll win. And here's another big one. Your choice of your YouTube channel topic. This cannot be understated. One of the greatest levers you have for YouTube success is actually choosing the right niche. So if you go, well, I don't get a lot of views. Well, is anyone even looking for your kind of content? My videos no one's like really searching for them. Then go and create something that people are actually searching for. You can create whatever you want. It's your tube, right? It's YouTube. Your choice of actually choosing to position yourself in a niche that is highly searched, of course, affects whether or not you win with YouTube search. Well, Sean, there's big creators that don't even like use tags and use metadata, and they create like prank videos. That's a whole different strategy, and that's great. Like study that out if that's your thing. But if you want to leverage, the topic of this video is YouTube search. So if you want to leverage YouTube search, make sure you choose a highly searched niche. Let me know if you get value out of this video so far. That was just number one. This is what YouTube is telling us. Here's the second quote. Engagement. So the first thing they look for is relevance, and they defined, by the way, just some of the signals. Like they don't actually tell us every single signal, but the fact they chose to list titles, tags, description, as well as how well YouTube's choice of words, and I definitely recommend reading the article with the link in the description. It helps us understand. Obviously, it's what they put weight on. Number two, engagement. Engagement signals are a valuable way to determine relevance. We incorporate aggregate engagement signals from users, i.e., we may look at the watch time of a particular video for a particular query to determine if the video is considered relevant to the query by users. So it's talking about engagement signals. What's an engagement signal? Well, engagement signals are any way the viewer has to engage with your video. This could include things like they can like the video, they can comment on the video, they could share the video, they can scrub on the video. Did you know YouTube knows if you touch a part or you rewind a part, that's real-time interaction on the video. However, the biggest engagement signals are things like click-through rate and watch time or average view duration, because that is me engaging with it. Like if I walk into a grocery store and I spend 5 minutes looking at the apples, touching the apples, feeling the apples, and inspecting the apples, besides the fact that everyone watching me would be like, that's the weirdest dude ever. Why is he spending so much time touching all the apples? And that's unsanitary, especially during a pandemic or any time. I would be engaging with the apples. I would be ignoring, there's all kinds of other produce in the produce section, but I'd be spending my time on the content. I would be touching the content. A click-through rate is engagement. You use your mouse to click on a video, or you use your finger to tap on a video on your smartphone. You just engage with it. Okay, wow, that person clicked on it. Oh, wow, now they're spending a minute on the video. They're spending 5 minutes on the video. They're spending 10 minutes on the video. So these are things that could be considered engagement signals. What are the tips? Lesser engagement signals are things like likes and comments. They matter. I am drifting into my opinion, to be clear here, and my experience. But from what we could see in terms of YouTube Studio and analytics, and we'll cover that in future videos, strong engagement signals, the two biggest ones, are like audience retention and click-through rate. Does the person click on the video? Do they go into the produce section and actually touch the product, put it in their cart and buy it? Or do they skip over it, right? And do they spend time? Like how long do you keep the person watching? How many watch time minutes does the video get? So it's terms like audience retention, average view duration, and watch time. Those are what really matters. Views, of course, matter, but one view could be 1 second as opposed to somebody spending an hour long on your content. So there's different engagement signals. If you want your videos to show up in the top of search, you need people engaging with your content. So you need to create good content. You have to see, how do I increase audience retention? How do I increase watch time? How do I increase click-through rate? Good thumbnails. It kind of comes down to a lot of the basics that we learn around YouTube, but this is YouTube saying how they decide what shows up in YouTube search. Number 3, finally, for quality, our systems are designed to identify signals that can help determine which channels demonstrate, listen, expertise, authoritativeness, and trustworthiness on a given topic. This is major, man. This is what we've been calling at Think Media channel authority, okay? And this is quote unquote from YouTube themselves. Their systems are looking for signals that help demonstrate channels that demonstrate expertise. If you want to be the go-to expert, you want to have expertise in a subject, then YouTube is going to rank your content higher. For example, at Think Media, one of the biggest topics we've become known for is best camera for YouTube, anything to do with camera for YouTube. And as YouTube observes, the algorithms observe that people click on the video that I create called best camera for YouTube, they dwell on it, they watch it, and whenever I release videos in the future, subscribers and non-subscribers really like best camera for YouTube videos. They go, okay, maybe these other topics aren't getting engaged with as much that Sean creates, but whenever he talks about best camera for YouTube, people watch it, their viewer satisfaction is high, like they like it. Clearly there's an authoritativeness there and even a trustworthiness. Now, without going too far down any rabbit holes, just because someone watches an entire video doesn't mean that they trust you. But one of the ways people could signify trust of you is that they spend time with you. If you listen to somebody and instantly you're like, dude, this person's just BS, man. Like they don't even know what they're talking about. Like you're going to bounce off the video. But if you dwell on the video, it could signify trustworthiness. But here's what I really want you to see. At the end of this quote from YouTube, it says on a given topic is what's missed by most people. Everybody out here wants to do a variety channel, but YouTube wants and likes to categorize people and even stereotype people into a niche to say, man, this channel has authority, expertise, and is trustworthy about a particular topic. So it's like my friend Ben from Keto Camp. Here's a great point. His channel is about ketosis, about health, and all about keto, hence Keto Camp, right? If he creates a video and he has the best title and tags and description, best camera for YouTube, and I create a video, title, tags, description, best camera for YouTube, and let's assume every single thing about the video is the same, I'm going to rank that video much higher than him, most likely, almost guaranteed, because YouTube is categorizing me and saying, well, Think Media has authority, expertise, and trustworthiness in a particular area because they've been being consistent. They've been building up momentum around a particular given topic. Furthermore, though, Ben is over here talking about keto, having keto interviews with experts, authors, being consistent, at least 2 videos a week, last couple of years. One of our VRA students, silver play button, crushing it, like building up his influence, but it's in a particular topic. So therefore, he gets a head start in that given topic because of his expertise, authority, and all of those things that are built in that area. So the takeaways from number 3, YouTube telling us how YouTube search works, is that channel authority is real. You can build up your channel authority over time, and it's important because they're going to rank videos in search based on expertise, authoritativeness, trustworthiness, what we call channel authority. Secondly, focus on a specific topic and niche down. Keto Camp, barbecue, cameras, Adobe Premiere video editing software, makeup tips. The more you niche down, budget makeup tips, drugstore makeup, just the more you are in a particular topic, YouTube wants to, and you can build up authority and trustworthiness around that topic. And then finally, on number 3, consistency matters. And here's what I mean by that. Consistency matters. People go, oh yeah, I just need to upload a video every week. Shoot, man, I fell off the horse. How many videos you've been uploading a week? Tell me in the comments. How many videos you've been uploading a week? Consistency does not just mean upload videos on a regular basis, because you might be like, I'm uploading 7 videos a week, I'm consistent. I would challenge that. Do you have a consistent message also? Are you talking about a consistent topic also? Do you have a consistent brand as well? Are you consistent in terms of your value proposition, meaning the problem that you solve and what people look to you for? So consistency is not just about frequency. It's actually about congruency of your message, your branding, your videos, your topic. And when you dial that in, it boosts your channel authority. It boosts your expertise, authoritativeness, and trustworthiness in YouTube's eyes. And now you're like, dang, I am ranking videos. I'm showing up in search more because of what YouTube calls quality. So hit like if you've been getting value, if you've learned anything in this video so far. We have the number 4th tip coming up. The question of the day, though, is what specific topic does your channel cover? And I really want you to drop that in the comments, because YouTube told us for a given topic, like they want you to cover a specific topic. So A, let me know if you have a specific topic. And B, if you don't, let me know how you're being challenged with this particular piece of information. Sean, can I still do a variety channel? My friend, you can do whatever you want, like literally do whatever you want. However, if you want to follow our playbook, which is proven and works, then maybe consider submitting what you want to what works and following a system, which would be saying, as frustrating as it is, or as limiting as it feels, YouTube is telling us that if I want search to work, I need to be in a particular given topic, a niche, a specific topic, to build my authority in that area, and then potentially consider pivoting your plan, pivoting your channel, pivoting your niche. But tell me, what topic do you cover? And as a reminder, today's video is brought to you by thinkmasterclass.com. Everything we're talking about here is coming straight from YouTube as a source, right? But I'm not going to get into a ton of strategies or a growth plan or our exact system for how we generate 57,000 views per day, as well as how we turn those views into income in multiple different ways. Free class. If you haven't watched it, it's new and updated for 2021, thinkmasterclass.com. So don't miss it. And then, of course, it's a free 1-hour class. At the end of it, I will tell you more about what our program For YouTube, it's our group coaching and online course called Video Ranking Academy. Whether that's not right for you or not, I want to encourage you, implement this information, implement what you're learning here, watch the free class, implement what you're learning there. But if you think, man, I want help, I want to be connected to a like-minded community of purpose-driven creators and entrepreneurs, then that are crushing it on YouTube, and really the most vibrant and tactical and strategic community for YouTube creators is our Video Ranking Academy community and private Facebook group. You can learn more about that at the end of the free class, free transparency, so you just know the whole process. But check it out, thinkmasterclass.com, and I know you'll get massive value out of that as well. Number 4, search and watch history. So YouTube goes on in this article that's not long, but gives us some very critical information. In addition to those 3 main factors, which are the first 3 we covered, we strive to make search results relevant for each user. And we may also consider your search and watch history. What does that mean? That means that your search results are most likely different than my search results. And they could be influenced by your search and watch history, assuming you're logged in or the viewer's logged in with a YouTube account and your search history is being tracked, which it is, unless you turn that off. Secondly, even if you turn it off, it actually is still being tracked most likely, because that's how YouTube is recommending you videos. Thirdly, even if you're not logged in, but you have cookies turned on, and every website now, you go to a website and it's accept cookies. So it pretty much forces it on you. YouTube is still studying basically that IP address, the use of Safari or Google Chrome or whatever browser. That's again how you go to a raw YouTube account, deleted cookies or whatever, and you start from scratch. Well, YouTube doesn't have any information. It might just throw you some videos from the trending page. As soon as you start giving YouTube information, it'll start adjusting what you're seeing in search and recommended videos, which is what we're going to talk about in the next part of this How YouTube Works series on Coffee with Cannell. So YouTube is taking into consideration your previous behavior. So let's read on. That's why your search results might differ from another user's search results for the same query. For example, if you were to watch a lot of sports videos and search for cricket, we might recommend videos featuring the sport cricket rather than nature videos with crickets in them. So these nuances have to do with the fact that the viewer, each individual viewer's history is going to influence what is being shown to them. So here's some big takeaways. First of all, search results are different for different viewers. The key then is to understand the viewer. That might be stated simply, but I can't underestimate how profound it is. When you begin to understand the psychology of the viewer that you want to reach, this is why defining who's your target audience, but even deeper here on Think Marketing, where we're recording this during Coffee with Cannell, we talk about defining your customer avatar or defining kind of your ideal client to the degree with which you understand the ideal viewer. Here's the thing. Who else do they follow? What are they thinking about? What are their favorite brands? What are their favorite podcasts? What are their favorite blogs? What books are they reading? What movies do they probably watch? What TV shows do they watch? What are their habits? What are their life patterns? What are their political beliefs? What are their, and a lot of what I threw out there, may or may not be relevant, but think about it. To the degree that you understand the viewer, there's certain topics that might leap off the page for them, things that will they want to click on more, things that will stand out to them more. If you were going to do an interview show, there's certain guests that they would know and that they would probably click on, and maybe some that they wouldn't know that would maybe not do as well, because to the degree of you understanding who else they follow, or what type of people do they follow, or what kind of music are they into. And I'm getting very granular, but in general, it's simply identifying, do you understand the viewer? Now, chances are, and to make this a little easier, one of the best things to do is to create content for yourself. Now, don't get that wrong with me saying don't create selfish content. What I mean is to basically scratch your own itch, whereas you usually are your avatar. Meaning, I would assume if you're connected here on Think Marketing, you also are into personal development. You're into learning. You're obviously on a learning video right now, studying, You might know people. If you're watching this video, you might know who Roberto Blake is. You might know who Catherine Manning is, or Vanessa Lau is, or Tim Schmoyer, or Nick Nimmin. You might, if you're into entrepreneurship, know who Grant Cardone is, or Gary Vaynerchuk is, or Marie Forleo. You might be into reading books or reading audiobooks, and maybe you've read the book Think and Grow Rich or 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. As we get more personal, probably have a core value, if you're part of our core community, of family, of being purpose-driven, of raising kids, of legacy, of impacting the next generation. So my point is, as you begin to understand what's happening in your marketplace, it also could be getting ideas from the content that similar creators are creating. It could be even doing react videos to other creators' type of content. Now, you might get into, say, nerd culture or geek culture or comic book culture. It could have to do with like the products you review, understanding the MCU, the Marvel universe. It could be understanding DC versus Marvel versus Vertigo, like just to the degree with which you're immersed, understanding the conversations, the topics, the things that are happening in your industry, that can very much influence your strategy and the content that you create. So you start seeing some overlap here, but the key is in your niche, you just want to understand the viewer. And I don't want you to get any like stuck in it around like it only has to do with who else they follow. I listed a whole list of these various things that could help you understand, how do I best serve the viewer? Where are they in life? What are their problems? Understanding your audience's problems and ambitions, to the greater degree that you can do that, to the greater degree of impact that you will have. But here's a quick story to illustrate this. So I recently had a son. His name's Sean Bradley Cannell. At the time of recording, he is 6 weeks old. What a young legend. And so I've been spending a lot of time in new dad life, changing diapers, shushing, rocking the baby, trying to make him go to sleep, and taking him at night and in the morning. And so when we're hanging out, a lot of times after work, after I'm creating, I work from home, and I will maybe hang out with my wife and make some dinner. A lot of times we'll turn on YouTube on our smart TV, and we use actually an Apple TV. So I've got the Apple remote. So here's what's interesting about search is I actually YouTube search all night long, but I do it with audio. And it basically, I just press the little microphone, Siri opens up, and I say, Phil DeFranco YouTube, or I say running a marathon YouTube. And here's some of the things I search. I've been searching for news, studying running. I've been studying the real estate market. I do a lot of personal finance, economy stuff, health and nutrition, faith and leadership stuff. There's certain people, I'll mention their name. And so 2 things are happening. Number one, YouTube search is absolutely happening around a particular type of person, me, that's searching for content. 2, it's building up this whole recommendations engine where now I just go to home and I'll just look at what YouTube's recommending to me. And the more data it has on me, like the better it serves content to me. And that's a conversation we're going to have in part 2 of this series. But let's just talk about running. So I will, as I'm dictating these things and running, what is my psychology as a runner? I'm somebody who's spending money on the sport. I'm in a place of economic stability. So I'm buying running shoes, I'm buying running gear, I'm buying running gels. So I'm watching like Seth James. I'm discovering new creators. I'm wanting to know, how do I run a marathon, which I haven't yet, but I've run 2 halves in under like 4.5, under 4. I'm kind of thinking, but 4.5 will probably be my target for the first one. Videos are being recommended to me. And then I'm also going down rabbit holes of search. There's a lot of people earning views from me in running, exercise, avoid injury prevention, best shoes, how to hit certain times, biggest mistakes. And so it can lead to all kinds of things. Affiliate marketing with running shoes, tank tops, shorts, linerless shorts, like all of the things. And I'm just saying all of that because I am not just a creator, I'm also a viewer. You're not just a creator, you're a viewer. How well do you understand the viewer? If you really want to master YouTube search, you need to discover your audience's problems and ambitions and really understand your viewer. One of the best ways to do that is to think about your own behavior. One of the other best things to do is if all you're actually doing is creating, I know you should put your head down and create. I also need you consuming. It's create over consume, but if you want to understand YouTube, you need to watch YouTube. But I'm often shocked that some of the people who want to be powerful creators on YouTube don't actually consume YouTube. Here's, I think, the key. This is not passive consumption like binge watching, House of Cards, all the seasons on Netflix. That's great too. This is active consumption through the lens of study to better understand your community, your niche, how YouTube works, how the recommended engine works. So I just want to encourage you that to the degree with which you understand your viewer and you can discover their audience's problems and ambitions at greater levels, you will experience more success on YouTube. And if you want to learn more about this article and see from YouTube themselves what they've recommended, there's a link in the description down below. And I want to encourage you, coming up in part 2, we're going to be talking about YouTube recommendations and the algorithm, because this is really just the tip of the iceberg. But you're going to love that next part. So make sure you're subscribed, click the subscribe button, click like if you got value, and definitely check out the free masterclass if you have not watched that yet at thinkmasterclass.com to learn the tactics and the strategies for really making YouTube search work for you. And you'll learn my framework for how you can get views on YouTube and build a real business around your YouTube influence. Smash like if you got value out of this video, and I will see you in the next one.
Start making better YouTube videos today with the YouTube Starter Kit. Create videos that get views and get subscribers and ultimately make you money. For a limited time, get 90% off the YouTube Starter Kit, a power-packed digital asset bundle that will dramatically shortcut your path to creating or reviving your YouTube channel. Get it today for only $37. This offer won't last. You'll get instant access to the 6 resources valued at over $630. So head to tubestarterkit.com and start creating better videos today.